Hello friends, and welcome back to the cabin. I'm on my way over to my friend Jimmy's house because he is working on Jennifer's brakes. So I thought while I had just a little bit of time I would run over there and help him out. It's funny, after last week's video that we run into the same thing again, right? Got to be careful out here in the mountains with all these S curves that we've got and everything, and fallen trees along the side of the road. When they're mowing, sometimes they'll swing way out to try to miss a tree, so got to be really careful. Anyway, I'll see you over there. And don't be singing "I Got Me a Home" while I got the camera on here. Yo! Me and Jimmy are singing songs we sing yesterday at church. That rotor doesn't look too bad though. Yeah, so if you hear him shout out "I got me a home," you'll know what we're talking about. Alright guys, I don't know if you can see or not, but she's got quite a bit of brake pad still left right here and on the back side as well. So we think we're just going to save these, put the front tire back on, and go check the back ones. But the thing is, she said she's got like 125,000 miles on the car and she doesn't remember putting brakes on it before. So my suspicion is she may have had it done at one time and just forgot about it. But anyway, we're going to go ahead, like I said, put the front one back on and take this back one off and check it. If you can see right in there, that is her rotor in between the brake pads, and she's still got quite a bit. So we're going to go ahead and put that wheel on it and stick a fork in this and call it done. I'm going to tell her that me and Jimmy really sweated and labored over getting her car ready for her to travel tomorrow. So no, I'm just teasing. We'll give her the boxes and let her take them back. Well, I'm driving Jennifer's car back home for her, and then I'm going to get mine. But I think that she'll be really happy that she can either take those brakes back or keep them until she needs them. But it looked like, probably just guessing, that her brakes may have been changed about maybe 50,000 miles ago. That would have put her at around 75,000, because I don't think there's any way that those brakes have 125,000 miles on them. I think that she just forgot. But anyway, we'll find out when we get back. Well, alright friends, I'm down here at the workshop now, and I've got to look forward to moving all of this stuff. I'm going to try to squeeze it all in over here so that I can start putting floor joists in and hopefully get this section over here done. It would be really nice to have a place, you know, that I could actually set my tools and get them up off of the ground. I've got them, you know, just sitting on like just pieces of 1x material or 2x material, just so that they're not exactly sitting on the ground, so that they don't rust. But it would be better if I had them up, you know, where I had the floor down, and that way I would have a place for all the tools and knew where they were at, and they would be in the dry. I'm still going to try to leave a small area where I can bring some material in here and stack it up. That way it can continue to dry and it's not outside, and I don't have to worry about trying to cover it up, just as long as it doesn't mold in here. You know, something else that I thought that I would mention, these solar panels behind me here, the angle hasn't been changed, and every day they're chewing up sunshine and spitting out the amps. I'll tell you, I don't even think that I'm going to have to change them. Because of the usage, you know, that's minimal in the cabin. It's very capable of keeping up with the needs that I have, so I may not even have to change them out here. I am going to look at running wire though from the back of the juice shack here down underground, down up inside the workshop, so that I can have power down here and be able to run some of my electrical equipment, although I have just about a replacement battery operated for each piece of electrical, or each electrical tool that I have. But still, there are some things that I don't have, like the table saw and like the chop saw and things like that. although maybe someday I'll get one, but I have a corded one right now, and that's what I use. So being able to have some power down here. Plus, what I'd like to do is have or mount a fan up here behind the sawmill. Up above that window there, I may have to move that light, but that way it can kind of blow down in this direction. And any of the residual sawdust that's floating around in the air, it will be pushing it that way instead of it just kind of settling on everything in the back here. And another thing that we may look at is a system from Wood-Mizer on dust collection. So we're kind of looking at that right now. I'll have to provide, you know, a place for it, like a barrel for it to go into that I could dump easily, but that might be something in the future. And I'm looking at putting in a couple of beams from those two posts right there, going across over here to this one single beam that we made, and then right up above the sawmill, going straight up, putting another beam crossways. What I'll do is I'll get pieces of angle iron. Instead of notching those in, I'll just bolt them up there with some all thread, and then that way that will be the support. And I'll do the same thing over here on this side, and the beam that's going to go across will have an electric winch on it. What I'll do is the cable will come down and it will wrap around the log. That way when I pull up on it, the log will want to spin around, and that will turn the log on the bunks for me. We're not lifting the log, basically. We're just rotating the log, so it's going to take less strain on the motor as opposed to just lifting the whole thing up, because we're just looking at turning it so that we don't have to use the cant hooks so much, which is not bad, you know. I mean, we do it. Yes, it's manual, but you know, we've done it that way for what, 6 years now. But just, you know, if we had some power down here, now I could run it off of one of the battery banks, but I thought, you know, I can wait until I get some power down here. That way it's hooked up and it's ready to go, and I don't have to do anything extra or charge the batteries, because that's what the solar panels are for. Sounds like they're having a conversation up there on the hill, doesn't it? They're all going to the meeting. Boy, I tell you what, friends, it has been hot today. The dogs and I, we just kind of laid low in the cabin because of the heat index out here. And all I've got is fans on the inside. We don't have any air conditioning, and kind of had to turn the fans on between medium and high just to get enough air circulating to stay cool. Of course, I did get a rag and kind of wet the dogs down, but I wanted to show you something. So I showed these the other day in a video. We've got 8 good ones there, plus that one is 1.5 inches. The others are 2 inch. You hear that thunder? The heat index has been up, so that's the reason it's fixing to storm. But anyway, I've got 9 there. You could count them, because I could use that one that's 1.5 inches. Then I've also got this one here, and then that one over there. So depending on how you count them, we either have 10 or 11, which I think we needed 13, if I remember correctly, in order to finish that space over there. I do have a few lying in here beside the tractor, but I don't think that I would trust those. So what I'm going to have to do is get one more log, because I only need, what, if we count 10 or 11, I needed 13, because we're only 18 feet deep. Then I need, what, 3 more, 2 more, depending on how you look at it. So one more log will do it, even if I only get a couple out of it. But yeah, if I can get that second floor, if I can get the 2x10s put in there where I can get the sheathing down, then I've got all of that floor space in there that I can put all my tools in, and it surely will be nice to get them up off the ground. I need to go through a lot of this wood right here and throw away what I'm not going to use, because what I need to do is really finish that wall. That way I can start hanging some tools inside here and on the outside as well. And I think how I'm going to do it is take and kind of do lap siding, a little bit different than I did the outside there. I'm going to take my router and router off, you know, the edge so that they will overlap on one to the other. And there'll probably be, you know, some shrinking going on where the gap will come up. So if I router it out between 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, I've got plenty of room for it to expand and still be able to cover my joint. So that's something else that I may look at doing here close in the future, maybe towards fall. Well, I took a few minutes and covered that up because it is fixing to rain. Then I had to wipe the sweat off of my face, out of my eyes, on the rim of my hat. I tell you what, friends, it is hot. So I guess you heard that, didn't you? Well, there you go. I think it's fixing to rain. Like I said, did I mention anything about it raining? Just doing one last minute check, make sure I've got everything covered up, because the way it's been going, if it starts raining, it might rain for half the night. And I believe I've got everything covered up. So anyway, friends, that's just a little bit more behind the scenes, what's going on up here at the outpost. Appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much. And look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.